Huh, 2 views in one day? Do I seem to care? Oh, do I seem like the person that cares about views and ratings? No. Today on deck, we got Stone Harbor Delicacies, which is a 2-star recipe. Looks actually quite pretty good. A big sucker for eggplant, mushrooms, potatoes, and seems quite possible to do it. In Genshin Impact, it's a 2-star dish, and all I need for it is some potatoes, mushrooms, and violet grass plants. I think that's what those are. I don't know, I gotta look back into it. I haven't been in the leeway in a while. Anyway, Stone Harbor Delicacies. I'm pretty sure it's a spin on a actual true Chinese Asian dish. This doesn't look too bad. And for the following ingredients, you'll need the following: salt, green onion, which turned out to be quite sad. That's not great. Dark soy sauce, light soy sauce. I don't have light soy sauce, so hopefully some reduced sodium soy salt will do. Chives, cornstarch, 1 eggplant, salt, 1 tiny teaspoon of sugar, more Yukon Gold potatoes, shiitake mushrooms, and some ginger. And optional, some pansy flowers, but I'm not gonna bother with that. It's just as decoration. Let's get into it. Post-editor's note, you'll need some grapeseed for this, for your cooking utilization. So add that onto the list of ingredients you need. Add it to the post-editing notes. It calls for some fresh garlic. Well, I can't find fresh garlic. Plus 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, equivalent to 1 clove of fresh garlic. Add that to the list at the end. First things first, you want to need to make stuff for your sauce. Now you'll need some salt, the soy sauces, the cornstarch, sugar, oh yeah, and some water to make your sauce. And it says to put them in a bowl. So we have a bowl right here, and we're going to add it to them. So it says to add 3.5 tablespoons of water. So there's not a great measuring point for 3.5 tablespoons. But I'd say 3.5 tablespoons is just slightly under 1/4 of a cup. So just make sure that it doesn't go all up to the 1/4 cup line. Probably just a skosh below it of water. And probably even less water than that, but that'll about suffice. That'll be the first thing to add into your bowl right there. Now you want to add about 2 tablespoons of the dark and the light soy sauce. So, go grab your tablespoon. Thankfully I found my tablespoon. Don't know how or where it ran off to when I needed it the most for my mint jelly thing. But here's a tablespoon. And you want 2 tablespoons of each one. Go ahead and do so right now. One. And 2. Perfect. So that one's your light soy sauce. Done and over with. Now you want to do the same thing for your dark soy sauce. What's the differences between light and dark soy sauce? I don't really know. I'm still a noob, despite going on episode 3 of this. So let's use what we got. Certainly can't get much different. Oh, you know what? In fact, it looks lighter than the other one. So maybe this might work out the reduced soy salt and the soy sauce and the dark soy sauce. Might be some sort of difference in it. So that's good. And we add another one of that. Oh, let's just spill some on our countertop. That's great. There we go. Like that. Now you'll add your 1 tablespoon of cornstarch in it, so lovely. Probably recommend washing these off. Oops. Well, that's not great. Just put cornstarch all over the place. Just take it, make it about 1 tablespoon, 1 little tablespoon like that. Boom, dump it into the bowl. Actually, some of it stuck to this tablespoon. We're add a little glazing a bit more in there. Throw that to the sink. I think we're done with the cornstarch for today. Then you'll grab it. Shoot, find it. Where the heck did I put that thing? Oh, right in front of me, dummy. You'll take your teaspoon right here, 1 teaspoon. And you add your sugar to it. There we go. 1 teaspoon. Add that to your mixture. And last but certainly not least, it says for 1 teaspoon of salt, or 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Don't have really a great teaspoon, or not great way to do this, so I'm just going to grind it on top and estimate 1 teaspoon. Certainly this thing's got enough salt already, so certainly if you get it a little bit under, it won't be too terrible. I'd say it's about good right there. Just a little bit more. 1 teaspoon is a lot of salt in the grand scheme of things. Like that. And that should do it for your mixture, so you want to grab a little mixing thing and probably mix it up. Let it thicken up a little bit. Let that cornstarch work in a little bit. And that should be good for your sauce. The sauce should look sort of like so. And you can put this to the side, put it in the refrigerator, let it thicken up, and get started on the rest of your recipe. Now you want to cut up your eggplant and get it rinsed out. Well, take your sticker off first off. Don't forget about that. There we go, 1 rinsed eggplant. Now this one we will want to grab a knife for it. Let's grab this one real quick. This one's nice and soft. Take a knife, probably cut off your stem. That'd be smart to do so. Take that off, discard that, and then it says to cut the eggplant into sections, then to strips. So I would say just make sure as long as your eggplant's in strips, you should be good. You should have it right. In fact, it might be too long, so go ahead and feel free to cut it in half. Cut your strips in half. Me like that would be perfect right there. Okay, with the eggplant cut up, now you'll need a bowl. Because we'll need to dump this eggplant to a bowl, cover it with water, and put 2 teaspoons of salt, which is an ungodly amount of salt. For something like this, just go ahead and dump it into the bowl, fill it with water, like that. And screw, we might just go ahead and peel this salt bottle off if we can. Or maybe we won't be able to. Oh yeah, we can. Just peel that off. Take our teaspoon. Let's go ahead and measure it out this way. It may not be the most accurate because it's a hard, very coarse salt. Which should do the case. I mean, salt will dissolve in water, will it? I hope so. Apologies for the sleepiness of the voice for this video. It's early in the morning. I'm doing this usually at night, so definitely not a morning person. And like that. Now let's say I give it a stir with this. Let's give it some sort of stir with it, just so the salt can dissolve correctly. And then we'll let the eggplant sit and diffuse in the salt water for a bit while I get the other stuff going, like so. Now you want to grab yourself some garlic, and it calls for 3/4 of an inch of garlic. I don't know how the heck to measure that, but it calls for 3/4 of an inch of garlic, so you just make sure that you peel the skin off and cut that into little bits. I'd say you're probably good. What piece looks like 3/4 of an inch of garlic? Or ginger? Yeah, I'd say that looks like about a good couple inches. So I'd say you probably want to cut this section probably in half, kind of like so. And then just make sure that you peel the skin if you have a potato slicer. Do you have a potato slicer? Yeah. Just take like a little potato peeler slicer and peel the skin off the garlic, okay? Ginger's all cut up, and the garlic's cut by default. Now you take your potatoes, rinse them, and then you want to add them to a large saucepan and fill that up with water too. Now once again, the recipe calls for four Yukon potatoes, or gold potatoes. So these things are pretty tiny, so I'll put 6 in. These things are tiny. Make it fill with water. Put it on the burner, and put it on full blast, because we want this thing to boil. And then once it starts boiling, you gotta set it for 10 minutes. Yes, 10 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes for your boil. Just enough to make your potatoes nice and soft and fluffy on the inside. Probably the best thing to do while waiting for potatoes to do its thing and boil, you might want to cut these things up, because the recipe does not specify to cut these things up, but you'd probably be a good time to cut these things up while you're waiting for your stuff to boil. So I'd say with these things, these mushrooms, probably cut them up, like, just slice them up. Slice will probably be fine. That'll probably do. That's probably about what you want your mushrooms to look like. Like that. There we go. All cut up. At least that's as well as I can get it to be. Okay, didn't set the timer, but roughly 10 minutes has passed. So now, be about time to get your strainer will use a lot of action today, so make sure you get a strainer handy or something like that. Take it to the sink, and you want to drain your eggplant and salt mix. Once you get that drained out, you get all the water you can as you possibly can. Dump it back in its original bowl. Now if your dried up eggplant with salt infused into it, you want to take some cornstarch and you want to, it just says to sprinkle it. It doesn't say how much, it just says sprinkle it. So sprinkle your eggplant with cornstarch, probably just a little bit. It doesn't say specifically how. And just mix it up. And then you let that sit in for 5 minutes. I like so. Mix it up more than that, but you get the point of it. Okay, now it's all about getting one step ahead. You want to go ahead and grab your largest baking or frying pan that you got, and you want to take your grapeseed oil and pour out 1/3 cup of it, and add that to the pile. And go ahead and get your oil to start preheating. So you probably want to turn it on, probably about a little past medium. And you can now safely add your oil to it. Oh yeah, and after adding that sprinkled in cornstarch, you want to mix up. It should look similar to this, probably not as wet as what it is, but yeah, just get a good frying agent in there. Alright, 15 minutes has passed. First you gotta drain them, you gotta strain them out with the drainer. And rinse with cold water. soft? Yeah, not as soft as I hoped they were. Oh crap. Alright, so now to the best of your ability, you want to take your potatoes and cut them into quarters. Kind of like so. Into quarters. Like that. Gosh, these things are hot.
Help! My dinner is attacking me!
Let's see if you got any bigger pieces. Go ahead and cut them further to your desires. Okay, here's what you want to do now. You want to add your potatoes, your ginger, and your garlic into your oiled up pan. This thing might be really dangerous because this oil is already starting to attack me already, and there's nothing in it. Let's hope this goes well. Yeah, I don't think it took that too kindly. Anyway, you want to cook for 2 minutes with this on. Go. Once your 2 minutes up on the clock, now you'll add your eggplant and your mushrooms to it. But you also gotta drain about 3/4 of this oil out. How to do that? Well, I guess I'll use my saucepan for it. There's no other way to get that done. So the recipe calls for cook it for 2 minutes, but with how much there is and how shallow this pan is, there ain't no way you're getting this thing cooked in 2 minutes and it's to be food safety certified. So we're gonna kick in for a little bit more, and now we'll add our sad little green onions, chop them up and add them to our bowl. Also, it says you need chives, so I guess we'll add that to the pile too. We don't have fresh chives, so I guess some freeze-dried chives will have to do. That thing's so weighted out. How am I supposed to cut this thing? Now, once again, another case of the recipe not being really precise about it. I'm guessing now would be a good time to add your sauce mix to the bowl. Let it simmer in that for a little bit. There we go. And last but certainly not least, you add your chives, and you cook that for 2 minutes, and you should be done. Wow. Now that, minus the pansy flowers, actually looks very similar to what it does in the game. I'm impressed. Oh man, this thing smells really, really good. I hope it tastes and smells as good as it looks. Also, on a side note, this is a vegan dish. I do believe. At least vegetarian. So, that's thumbs up for that one if you're looking to subtract some meat or animal-made products into your diet. Oh yeah, for future reference, if you want a side dish for it, it goes well with rice. Well, once again, I can only hope it tastes as good as it looks. Alright, here it is. Let's give it a good taste. Nothing like having lunch for breakfast. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's very good right there. Definitely the best of the three we've made so far. I mean, from the ingredients, potatoes, eggplants, and mushrooms, it's pretty hard to screw that up. But that's perfection. Very well done. That's a good solid. That's in legendary status. A very subtle flavor of sauce, but it's not overpowering the potatoes and the eggplants. 10 out of 10. It's that good. Would highly recommend. Yeah. Just maybe remember, boil your water a little bit longer than 15 minutes. Probably make it 20. Then your potatoes are a little bit firm. Want them to get a little more soft and fluffy. Go ahead and cook them more. But yeah, that'll do it. Whatever this dish is, highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. Alright, bye.